with MediaWatch. It's good to see you, James.
Likewise,
and
Laura.
the case of the acquittal, I should say, of George Zimmerman is really fanning the flames of racial tension over in the US today.
It absolutely is. If you take a look at the headlines on American media, it speaks about a racial rift after Zimmerman verdict. Can the nation heal this racial rift? It seems that a lot of the African American community have seen in this acquittal the sign that justice in the US is not fully equal, that African Americans are not fully equal before the law. In Zimmerman case, self-defense was hard to topple. To remind viewers, what happened was he was acquitted of murdering a 17-year-old African-American by the name of Trayvon Martin, who was not guilty of any crime, didn't carry any weapon, etc. And there was a struggle between the two. It was a case of mistaken identity. Zimmerman went after him thinking he was a criminal. And in any case, there was some sort of a struggle ensued. Zimmerman has used the stand your ground self-defense argument, which seems to have worked. The court was convinced of that.
There are some reports that haven't been confirmed that the jury was made up of 5 white women.
Right. So
6 women, 5 of them white women.
It's played into this notion that it's kind of a justice system for white people, run by white people, and African American. This is an example of an African American who was innocent, as it turns out. A struggle ensued. He ended up dying. Now, if you look at articles like this by Gary Young that appeared in The Guardian today.
Furious piece, didn't he?
Furious, and it's been the most looked at article on The Guardian today. It's been vastly shared on social media. It seems to have fed into that sense of African American anger. Open season on black boys after a verdict like this. Let it be noted that on this day, it was still deemed legal in the US to chase and then shoot dead an unarmed young black man. Now, a lot of people have been pointing to this case as well, which took place in Florida last year. A Florida mother who got 20 years in prison for firing warning shots against her abusive husband. She was also claiming that she was standing her ground. The court wasn't convinced in this case, and she got 20 years in prison, which does seem like a very severe verdict.
Same state, same laws, very different outcome.
Absolutely. And the African American press is also very angry about it. Black community responds to the acquittal of George Zimmerman. This is a New York-based African American paper. They linked to a YouTube video of Malcolm X some 50 years ago. Let's take a listen to an extract from that video.
They attacked the victim, and then the criminal who attacked the victim accuses the victim of attacking him.
Yes, sir.
This is American justice.
Yes, sir. That's right.
This is American democracy.
Yes, sir.
And those of you who are familiar with it
Yes.
know that in America, democracy is hypocrisy.
Right.
And also on that article in the African American press, a link to a petition by the NAACP, which is the rights group for the African American community, which has had about 300,000 signatures now. A civil rights case against George Zimmerman. So it's a really divisive issue in the US media.
Okay. All right, let's move on to news here in France. There's some controversy surrounding a new postage stamp.
Yes, who would have thought, Laura, that a stamp could be this divisive in this day and age?
Yes.
Well, there is a new stamp of Marianne, the symbol of the Republic. And
that's rather lovely.
In the past, Brigitte Bardot has posed as the model for Marianne. So you've had lots of famous French people over the years. Now, the current model actually ended up being this lady. Now, that is...
Oh, it's the Femen lady.
That's the Femen lady called Ina Shevchenko.
Yes, she's been on this show, yes.
That's right.
With her top on.
That's right. Because she often appears with her top off. It's a big strategy for the Femen when they are out there
Not
demonstrating.
A fan of tops. Right.
No. Now, Olivier Chiappa, who was the author of who was the painter, has had to defend himself in the media because a lot of people have been critical of the choice of Ina, who, that's not Ina now, but that's the sort of protesting you see. But
she's very beautiful.
She is very beautiful, and she has responded by saying, Femen is on a French stamp. Now all homophobes, extremists, fascists will have to lick my ass when they want to send a letter. Sorry for reading that out.
Style.
Very
nice.
There you go. So it shows that the choice of Ina was indeed somewhat divisive.
Great. Okay, we're going to end with a rather odd political interview in Belgium. There's nothing better than Belgian political interviews.
Oh,
you can
I'm
watch
telling
them
you,
for hours.
wait until you see the pictures. This is Jean-Luc Dehaene. Now, he is a former Prime Minister of Belgium. He was at a barbecue, forgot that he'd scheduled to have an interview on Belgian TV. Got a phone call and had to rush over from the barbecue in his sandals, his shorts and the rest of it. And there he is, giving a very relaxed, chilled out. And as the Huffington Post French version said, you couldn't imagine Dominique de Villepin turning up that casually.
I don't think any Frenchman would ever wear an outfit like that.
But you know, the Belgians are more relaxed. They're just a little bit more chilled out on that side of the border.
That's a little bit too chilled out. He looks like some guy that's Someone asking to empty the bins or something.
That's right. So there you go.
All right, James. Lovely. Thank you very much indeed, James CREEDON there with MediaWatch.
Thanks, Laura.
Well, time now to turn our attentions to all things financial. Marcus Carson is here with the day's top business news.